Washington State, Gifford, Pinchot National Forest. This is a very distant shot taken with a telephoto, and it appears to be a Bigfoot. We have other shots of it, but you can determine for yourself. This is the first of many.
That Washington State, that's the home of the winners of the Super Bowl. Seattle Seahawks.
And pot smokers, yeah. So
and recently legalized. No, they didn't recently legalize recreational pot in Washington State. That was recently legalized in Colorado.
Colorado.
Well, they've had legalized.
For how long, though?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I know it's a lot longer than Colorado.
I had mentioned in a previous episode that they name Bigfoot in Australia they call it the Yowie, and in China I think it's called the Yeren. There's one in the Himalayas. I've seen a posting of a video where they showed mountain climbers that had climbed Mount Everest over the decades, and when they die as they're climbing through because of the extreme cold, there's no one to take out the body, and
so they just have bones all over the place.
Yeah, they just have bodies. They're intact.
Well, they're in that cold weather. They're preserved.
And they're preserved. It's like they have some bodies from the 50s. They're wearing 1950s clothes, and they're huddled up like they were trying to protect themselves from the cold. And that's just where they died because there's no service that goes in. And I think this just legally that's a policy. They don't rescue you, or they don't get the body. They just leave it there, and they don't rescue people because they'd be doing that all the time, just with spoiled, climbers.
Families don't go up there and bring back the bones?
Well, they don't know where they are, and how would they know where they are exactly?
Well, they don't bring back the bones, but there's probably a route. They know which way they went up because they've got, they're going up with designated groups.
But it's eerie because there's a series of bodies that are up there. Some of them were like bright yellow or some of them happened within the past decade, I'd assume. And they just freeze there and die, and the bodies are left there. And if anybody that climbs that route, provided they don't die on the way,
it sounds like a good scary movie.
It sounds like how they have haunted tours of California where you see the.
You imagine with all this global warming and all the receding of all those glaciers, their bodies just slide down the mountains.
Which brings up a great point. I don't know if we've mentioned it in any of our episodes, but just like they found mammoth bones, or not mammoth, preserved mammoths. Totally intact with the fur.
So you think they're going to find more prehistoric animals?
Well, it'd be interesting. Some people would say, well, what about finding Bigfoots? But I'd like to see, probably more than anything else, is what did a saber-toothed tiger look like?
What about Bigfoot, though?
What about a Neanderthal?
Is Bigfoot prehistoric?
Yes.
So then, if they can find those other prehistoric animals, then they can find the ancestors of Bigfoot.
Yes, and I would wonder if there are any... if anything,
unless Bigfoot's just a mutation of the Neanderthal,
or some kind of hybrid. Because just interesting food for thought. Richard Leakey, who's Louis Leakey's son, who made the famous Australopithecus discoveries at Olduvai Gorge in Africa, was on record talking to Richard Dawkins, who's a writer on religion or not religion, or on atheism, and Richard Leakey said. He alluded to in a strong way that humans and chimps could mate and have children.
And Bigfoot's the example of that?
No, but I'm just curious, why hasn't anybody, a mad scientist, a Nazi, a communist,
I've not seen that porno.
But not the porno, but I'm just saying the result of that, even if it's in vitro fertilization, done that experiment. If that can be done... Because he was saying
Julia Roberts almost do that?
She almost did it with inadvertently with an orangutan.
Because he was bound and determined to.
And that is on video. If you want to catch it, just search Julia Roberts orangutan.
Surprisingly enough.